Well, hello, Grace Nation. Welcome to Quantum AF Podcast, where the woo is backed by science and the vibe is always high, honey, or at least heading that way. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and your whole body went, nope? Like the air was weird, your gut was clenching, maybe your ex texted at that time. Um, okay, so that is frequency. And guess what? It's not some mystical fairy dust. It's actually physics. Every thought, every emotion, every system in your body, every person you date, fight with, heal with, or even block on Instagram, it's all frequency. Well, today's episode, we are diving in really deep. I mean, this isn't just spiritual talk. This is real, measurable, bioelectrical, vibrational, experiential science, and soul. All right, are you guys ready? All right, let's vibe. Let me put here it is. Everything is frequency, the vibe behind reality. Segment number 1. Everything is vibration. Here's the scientific tea. Okay, so first of all, let's lay the foundation. What even is frequency? In physics, frequency is how often a vibration repeats itself per second. And it's actually measured in hertz, HZs. I'm sure you heard about that, right? There's a lot on YouTube, like HZ frequencies. Well, what does that mean? Okay, so it means that you, me, my laptop, even this mic, your third eye, your trauma is all vibrating. This is scientific, guys. I am not just woo-wooing, okay? All right. So, atoms vibrate. Did you know that? I didn't until I started becoming a nerd, a quantum nerd. And atoms vibrate, and that vibration changes everything. Did you hear that? Every atom is in constant motion, even in a solid, like particles jiggle, just less freely than in a, like, say, a gas or a liquid. So the speed and pattern of vibration, what do? They determine the phase. Is it a solid? Is it a liquid? Solid would be slow, liquid would be medium, or is it a gas, which would be fast? The speed and pattern of vibration also determine the temperature. More energy equals faster movement equals hotter. And the speed and pattern of vibration determine also the implication. Matter isn't solid, it's vibration slowed down. Did you hear that? I saw an experiment actually where they actually increased the vibration of a solid and the solid literally like disappeared. I'm not kidding you. It was crazy. You are actually, all of us, we're all a symphony of vibrating particles. Let's do a deep dive into it because we're going to go detailed and deep. So, sound equals frequency equals energy that moves matter. So sound is literally pressure waves that vibrate air molecules. Human ears can hear from 20 Hzs to 20,000 Hzs, but everything vibrates, even what you can't hear. And dogs can. You know what dogs can hear and you can hear? It's still vibrating. Sound can, as we all know, break glass, resonance, heal tissue, ultrasound, or shift brain states, binaural beats. Now, mantras, singing bowls, chanting, what is all that? Why has it been used throughout centuries? Well, they work through frequency entrainment. Energy isn't just heard, it's felt. We're all frequency, we're all vibrating. So certain hurts are healing. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. If you are on YouTube, please definitely comment, ask me questions. I want to hear from you. Any experiences that you've had that are related to what we're talking about, please let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Okay, so let's continue. This is like, I'm such a nerd. I'm telling you, I am fascinated by this. All right. So let's get more into it. Brainwaves. What is a brainwave? It's your state of consciousness in HZs. Did you hear that? Brainwaves are your state of consciousness in HZ. So the brainwaves are measured in cycles per second, HZs. Brainwaves change with your mood, your focus, and your intention. For example, so there's a chart that I have here that says the brainwave, for example, gamma the frequency is 30 to 100 Hzs, and the state of mind of that frequency and that brain wave is insight, unity, high performance. I'm going to give you another one that's on the opposite end, and that would be delta, which is 0 0.5 to 4 Hzs, deep sleep and cellular healing. So basically, honey, we are all frequency. You are frequency. Meditation isn't just spiritual. It literally shifts your literal brain chemistry. I know it's a lot of literals, but it really, really does. Now, let's get into heart math, okay? Because this segment is about everything is vibration, and I'm giving you the scientific tea. So heart math, the heart has its own frequency field. Did you hear that? And you know what? I'm going to tell you about the theory, but I always figured, how is it pumping? What's moving it to pump? And it is the electromagnetic field that we are in, right? Because it's like two little circles, the electromagnetic energy, and they kind of join at the heart, right? So your heart is literally being moved by your electromagnetic field, your frequency. So the Heart Math Institute, because I'm going to give you a scientific tea. This is not just, oh, Grace figured something out and maybe it is true, maybe it's not. Because we all figure stuff out. If you're a nerd, you're going to try to figure stuff out all the time. So the Heart Math Institute has shown that the human heart emits an electromagnetic field. It emits it too, and it's measurable several feet outside the body. This field changes with your emotions. For example, gratitude, love, and joy. What do? They create coherence. They create balance. They create order. What does stress and anger create? Yeah, you guessed it. Chaos, right? So we definitely want to be vibrating at the HCs of gratitude, love, and joy. And if we have anger and stress, we definitely want to change that and move it towards gratitude, love, and joy. We have to deal with the feelings. By the way, check out yesterday's live, Relationship Coaching Live with Rebecca Silence. We're talking exactly about this and about emotions and how to shift them. She's a social worker, and she's like trained and has all kinds of degrees. She's amazing. She has an amazing book. And she was talking about this. So check it out. The episode is called Finding Joy in the Chaos, which is exactly what this is, right? Flipping it. So your heart, basically, what it's saying, this institute is saying, the Heart Math Institute is saying that your heart is not just a pump. It's not like, okay, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to keep you alive. I'm going to just pump blood in your body. No, honey. It's a frequency tuner, sending out energetic signals that affect your brain. Listen to this, your immune system, and the space around you. For those who just came in, I can see you guys on YouTube. We're talking about everything is frequency, okay? And I'm giving you the scientific tea. All right. There's another theory. Well, not theory, it's an experiment, actually. These are all proven things. This is not BS like woo woo, okay? So we're talking about, for those who just came in, sound equals frequency equals energy that moves matter. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is something that is really fascinating. And a lot of people know about this, and it's Dr. Emoto's water crystal study. So Masaru Emoto's experiments, while criticized for lacking scientific rigor, gave us an unforgettable metaphor. He exposed water to like words, musics, or thoughts, and then froze it and photographed the crystals. So, guess what happened? When you fed it loving words, oh, it was beautiful, just symmetrical crystals. It's gorgeous. You can actually Google this experiment and you'll see the pictures. You're going to be blown away. Now, when you speak harsh words to the water, and then he froze it and looked at the patterns, it was chaotic, distorted crystals. Is it controversial? Yes. But honey, the takeaway is profound because water responds to energy. Did you hear that? Water responds to energy, which is vibration. Emotion literally has form. I'm using the word literally a lot today. Forgive me for that. So, water responds to energy, emotion has form, and intention leaves a mark. Now, check this out. Your body is what? Like about 70% water. If you hydrate well, maybe, a little bit more. The way you talk to yourself and even the vibe that you live in can physically affect your health and well being. Check that out. Google it. I'm telling you, it's a fascinating experiment. Okay, what is the bottom line to this segment? You're not just made of matter, you're made of energy. And energy can be tuned. What you say, what you think, what you feel is broadcasting a frequency, and that frequency interacts with your cells, your environment, and even the quantum field of possibility. So your focus, your words, your vibe, they don't just influence reality, they are reality. So here's a fan story, and then I'm going to go into some tips because I back everything up with science, give you fan stories, and give you tips. By the way, this guide from this episode is going to be available at thestateofgraceshop.com this weekend, and it's going to be $199. So you can get it for $199 and just study it and read it, and it's on PDF. You can read it on your computer or you can read it on your phone. Anyway, fan story number one. Here she says, when I started playing 520HZ during meditation, my anxiety attacks literally stopped. Everybody's using literally today. My dog even chilled out. And this is Amanda from New York. Okay, so tip number one for this whole episode is start your morning with 5 minutes of sound healing. Do you know what I do? Every day when I wake up, I go to YouTube and I put 520HZ or 432 is really, I love that one, 963HZ. You put a morning meditation, right? And just feel your nervous system exhale. So I do that first thing in the morning, and then I do my postings on social media. And while I do that, I don't stress. I'm just listening to that music. And actually, even when I sleep, sometimes I do that. So you can do it in the morning, during the day, or when you go to sleep. Those frequencies are amazing. All right, my loves. Feel free to like, share, comment, and please subscribe for more tea on Quantum AF. All right, let's go to segment number 2. And this segment is called Quantum Physics and Your Vibe. So, all right, so let's get quantum. All right, this isn't sci-fi that I'm talking about. This is you understanding your literal creative power. And when people say you can create your own reality, you think, that's BS. Things happen to me. What can I do? You can actually change and shift your reality with your thoughts and emotions. It's worth a try, isn't it? All right, let's go into the science of it. All right. Whew, this is a lot, you guys. It's a lot. This is going to be probably an hour and a half podcast, and I'm going to break it into pieces, into little clips for you and post them later. All right, science, the double slit experiment. So tiny particles acted differently when observed. So this refers to the double slit experiment, a cornerstone of quantum physics. When scientists shot electrons, which are tiny particles, through two slits without watching, the electrons behaved like waves, creating an interference pattern, suggesting they went through both slits simultaneously like a probability cloud. But when they placed a detector to observe it, which slit the electron went through, the electrons actually, okay, so when they placed the detector to observe which slit the electron went through, right? Because when they weren't observing, they were just going through like waves. And when they put a detector to observe it, the electrons acted not like waves, but like particles, choosing one path. That wave pattern disappeared. What does this mean? It's like, what is this woo-woo? Okay, so the act of observing collapsed the wave of possibilities into a solid single reality. So what it's saying is, in the quantum field, there's waves of possibilities. And when you observe it or focus on it with your thoughts and emotions, that's the reality that you are bringing into your life. So you're creating it and bringing it from the quantum field. I know this is a lot, you guys. Okay. So another thing about the double slit experiments. As particles, okay, so in quantum mechanics, let's start with that. Particles like electrons can exist as particles, solid things like a speck of matter, and waves, probabilities of where they could be until they're measured. What this is called is the wave particle duality, where quantum stuff can be either a possibility or a thing, depending on how or if it's observed. So let that sink in, you guys, because it's sinking in for me too at this very moment, even though I've read about this, I've known about this, but every time I read about it, it's like, oh my gosh, I have the power to observe something and make it change also, right? Depending on the energy that and the frequency that I put into that observation. I know. What is the conclusion? Conscious observation collapses possibility into reality. Wow. Okay, let's get into this. So this is where it really gets wild, okay? And why spiritual thinkers love this experiment. Because it seems like your awareness, your observation has the power to collapse the infinite possibilities, i.e., the wave, into a concrete outcome, i.e., the particle. That shift from maybe to manifested. That's the magic. Again, at thestateofgraceshop.com, you can get this guide for $199. I'm going to publish it this weekend. Okay. This is fascinating because it's not, you can listen to this, but you really need to have it in front of you and read it and see it with your own eyes so it sticks in your head. If you're a visual person, that's going to help tremendously. If you're an auditory, just listen to my stuff. If you like my voice, if you don't, I don't know what to say. Anyway, all right. So another thing about the double slit experiment, which is fascinating to me, you influence matter, but what you focus on, like I was saying before. This is the bold spiritual interpretation, not fully embraced by mainstream science, but deeply meaningful in metaphysical circles. Where attention goes, reality flows. Remember, where your attention goes, it turns from wave into matter, i.e., something that is tangible in this reality. I know. Your consciousness, your thoughts, your focus, and observation may literally influence, and again, literally, today is literally day, so bear with me. So your thoughts, focus, and observation will literally influence physical reality. You're not just a passive observer, you're a creator. Conclusion. When you're not looking, reality is a soup of potentials. Remember the possibilities in the quantum field. Now, when you focus, bam, those possibilities turn into a thing. What do you want to focus on? Right? I want to focus on, for example, let's say moving to a house, right? You focus on that and you're attracting that reality. And also, your focus is creating that reality while attracting it from the quantum field. So when you focus, it turns into a thing. Why? Because you're collapsing the wave. You choose the version. Yes, you do. Your attention equals creation. That's why we have to be very careful when we focus like on somebody that we don't like, which happens a lot, right? Or on something we don't like. That's what you're creating, something that you don't like. But if you manifest, you create like this person, for example, you can either block that person or thing, or you can manifest something positive for that person or thing. Either way, whatever you choose, remember the quantum field, there's no good or bad. It doesn't judge, it just is. Okay. So let's go into a fan story because, I always come ready with fan stories. So here's somebody that says, after my divorce, I only focused on what I didn't want in a partner. See, I was telling you the negative. I kept attracting emotionally distant people. Once I visualized peace and deep connection, I met someone who mirrored that vibe back. Says Leo in Toronto. He let me use his name. So, Leo, thank you for the reminder for me because I complain a lot about dating. So maybe I need to shift my vibe when I'm ready to attract the right person. So, tip number 2 for segment 2, babies. All right. Visualization is vibrational commands. If you visualize something, you literally commanding that vibration to be that visual. 5 minutes a day, this is what you can do. Close your eyes, breathe into your heart, and imagine your ideal life like it's happening now. I'm imagining it and feel it. Feel it. You have to feel it, not just thinking or visualize. Boom. Your wave is sent. It's out there in the quantum field. All right, let's go to segment number 3. I told you this was going to be a deep dive. I was not kidding. I don't play. When it comes to quantum physics, I don't play, baby. All right, segment 3. Trauma has a frequency. How about that? Trauma has a frequency. Okay, let's dive into this. Trauma isn't just stored in the memory, it's stored in frequency. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Trauma is just not in your memory, stored in your memory, it's stored in frequency. When something traumatic happens, your body doesn't just remember it mentally, it imprints it energetically. Wow. What does that mean? Imprints it energetically. Well, your nervous system adapts to survive. Your baseline frequency lowers to match the dominant emotional state of that trauma. For example, fear, shame, guilt. You might feel normal, but you're vibrating in survival mode. this is my theory. When we're vibrating in survival mode or more in our ego and the lower frequency emotions like guilt, shame, fear, what happens is our bodies, our cells are vibrating also at that frequency. And the ease goes into dis-ease. So I do believe, and I'm not saying this is the cause of all illnesses. No, don't, please don't. And I'm not saying that you create illnesses. Please don't even go there. What I'm saying is, if you're vibrating at a lower survival mode, lower emotions in frequency, they're not lower as in I'm judging them or we're judging them. They're literally lower in frequency in Hz and hertz. So think of trauma, because we're talking about trauma, like a tuning fork that keeps humming long after the event is over. You know, boom. You can hear it, but at some point it's going to keep humming, and maybe you can't hear it. You can't see it. It's humming, right? It's out there in the field, and it's in you, and your cells are just vibrating at that dis-ease hertz frequency. So this hum shows up as chronic anxiety. We've all been there, right? Hypervigilance. Oh, yeah, especially if you're a survivor of abuse. Hypervigilance is crazy. This hum shows up as self-sabotage, or I don't feel safe, even when I am, which is so sad. And I've been there. A lot of us have been there. Not feeling safe in your own skin. After my cancer healing journey, of course, I had PTSD like we all have. The doctors don't tell you about that. I honestly felt like my soul wanted to get out of my body because my soul didn't feel safe in my body anymore. That is a very extreme PTSD. It's called medical PTSD, medical trauma. So, all right, we're going to keep learning more about this, and then we're going to find solutions and tips. Okay. And we're going to also find not just my stories, but your stories. Please definitely let me know of anything that you've been through that resonates with this. Okay. All right. This is so much, you guys. It's like I'm overwhelmed, but in a good way. So the emotional frequency scale. Let's talk about Dr. David Hawkins. Okay. The emotional frequency scale ranks emotions by their vibrational frequency. You definitely want to pay attention to this. The vibrational frequency is measured in hertz, Hz's, right? These numbers are not just metaphors, you guys. They really reflect real energy states that can be measured, okay? So I'm going to read some of them, like the lower vibration and the higher vibration. Again, you can get my guide for $199. I'm going to post it this weekend, and it's going to have all this information, okay, with the stories and the tips and everything else. Okay, so shame, for example, the frequency in hertz is 20, which is very low. And the meaning is collapse, invisibility, and I am bad. Oh, that's so sad, man. Another one is very common, fear. That's 100 hertz, and it means anxiety, survival, distrust. Let's go into the middle of the ground. Courage is 200. That's where the power begins. Oh, yeah. Then you have neutrality, 250 hertz, which is detachment and calm. Love, which is 528 hertz, is coherence, healing, and expansion. And check this out. Joy, which is what my channel is about. This channel is about your journey to joyful living. Joy vibrates at 540 hertz, and it's flow, transcendence, and unity consciousness. Again, this is not good or bad. We're not judging. We're just mapping these emotions, okay, so that you know what you're up against. When you vibrate low, everything is not in order and in harmony. When you vibrate high, everything is in order and harmony. So the low frequencies, what do they mean? They're reactive, they're survival based, they're contracted. The high frequencies are creative, expansive, regenerative. All right. Now, what does trauma do to your vibrational set point? It actually lowers it. So, when trauma isn't fully processed, it becomes the default frequency you return to. Absolutely. That's why we got to deal with trauma of any kind, right? And it hurts, and you're going to cry, and you're going to be upset. But if you deal with it and you process it, then remember that tuning fork that still is vibrating even when you're not even paying attention, that's going to stop. You might say you want love, creativity, or abundance, but your energy field is calibrated to shame, fear, or guilt. It's like trying to stream jazz on a radio tuned to static. So, what happens? This creates repeated toxic patterns, self doubt, and imposter syndrome. Oh my God, I hate that one. Physical symptoms. Yes, trauma can lead to chronic illness. Why? Again, that tuning fork is still vibrating. Your cells are also vibrating at that frequency of that tuning fork. And that causes disease because the mitochondria, by the way, which when the mitochondria are not vibrating at the speed they should be vibrating, the frequency they should be vibrating at, that's what actually causes cancer, and they are out of control. So one mitochondria might be like dee, 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 the other one's like ta ta ta, like really chill. This mitochondria is like dee, 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 dee. So the next one, it's like, like when you hang out with people that are I don't know, that curse a lot, for example, you start cursing, same thing. So this was a da, 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 cursing. This one goes da 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 da. So they start, the mitochondria in the cells start vibrating at that frequency, and they are completely out of control, and they're not healthy cells anymore. So the frequency of your trauma can literally even help cancer grow, because I'm not going to say it's the only reason, because cancer is such a complex illness or disease that I'm not going to, but that can aid. Everything can aid, what you eat, what you put on your body, what you put in your body, everything can, your environment, everything can help cancer, that can help the disease. So, what is the good news? Yeah, because it's not all trauma and drama, right? You can recalibrate. Your frequency is not fixed. It can be healed, retuned, and elevated. And I'm going to give you some exercises and things that you can do to recalibrate your frequency. And I actually, let me tell you a story. I had an anxiety attack last weekend, which I honestly haven't had an anxiety attack in years. And I was teaching swimming. I had to get out of the pool. I was really like, what is happening to me? The next day I threw up. I was sick. And I was like, okay, this is triggering some trauma that I have. Whatever is happening around me is triggering a trauma. I figured it out what the trauma was and why I was triggered. And then I was like, no, I'm going to take my power back. I'm not going to allow the trauma to change my chemistry and my vibrational field and the vibration of my cells. So I turned that trauma into, this is what I can do so I'm not stuck in that trauma. And we can actually go deeper into it. By the way, if you subscribe to my Patreon for $5.99 a month, it's patreon.com/the state of Grace Fraga. You have a free 30-minute one-on-one with me, which can be a relationship coaching or quantum healing coaching. Okay, either one. So please subscribe to my Patreon. I have tons of comedy content, tons of quantum and relationship content. And I have, I keep putting, mostly it's comedy and it's stuff that's not out there on YouTube or anything. It's not public. So subscribe to patreon.com/the state of Grace Fraga. Everything is the state of Grace Fraga. All right. So here's how you can recalibrate your vibration field or your frequency. Somatic healing. So you release the energy through the body. You can scream it, put a pillow so your neighbors don't complain. You can, personally, the water for me is, it just absorbs my energy, whether I'm in the water or in front of a mass of water. Maybe for you, it's hugging a tree. Maybe for you, it's being in nature. Maybe for you, it's hearing the birds sing. Okay. Um, just release your energy and also be in an environment that relaxes you. Meditation and breath wake. What the hell is that, Grace? Meditation and breath work. Shift into alpha, theta, and delta states. Another thing to recalibrate is loving relationships, co-regulation with higher frequency people. If you're a high frequency person, you will find out that people, when they're in your presence and you're vibrating high, because sometimes you're not vibrating high because you're having, something, but usually higher vibration people vibrate high most of the time. People around you will tell you, wow, I was feeling like shit, and just being around you made me feel better. You didn't do anything, it's just your frequency, it affects them. So imagine how we can change the world if one day, I've been saying this for years, all of us just are in the frequency of love and unity. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's going to happen, or maybe there is in the quantum field a timeline where that's happening. I don't know, but it's powerful. Nature, that's another thing. Like I was telling you before, the forest, the ocean, just picking up the earth's frequency. The earth is a living organism, it's a living being. Okay. And that's not a joke. There's a thing called the Schumann resonance. Okay. And that's the earth's frequency. And right now, because of the situation in this world and in this country, it's going crazy. It's like they've never seen, like, it's just going insane. Like, it's abnormal. So the earth, Gaia, feels. Yes. And it probably has feelings even. I'm sure she's mad right now. Anyway, another thing you can do is sound healing. I do that a lot. Tuning forks, solfeggio tones. I do that. Binaural beats. Also the bowls. The what is it called? Tibetan or whatever. I can't pronounce it. From Tibet, the bowls. Yeah. Okay. Those are amazing. I love those. By the way, Janae Eiko, who I love, she does a lot of that, and her voice has a vibration that's healing. Um, Another thing you can do is affirmations and intentional thoughts. Yes, thought has a vibration. We already talked about that. Remember the brain waves? Yeah. And especially, not just the thoughts, but emotions, emotional alchemy. This is what I did last weekend. Okay. I turned my fear into clarity, my grief into devotion, and my shame into sovereignty. You're an alchemist. Remember, and I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it until my last breath. We are magical, powerful beings. And that's no joke. They made us believe and programmed us that we're sinners, that we're nothing, that there's a big daddy in the sky that's punishing us. That's bullshit. We are powerful. So powerful, we can create our own reality. We can shift realities with our thoughts and emotions. Think about that. So, this is the quantum truth. Your frequency is your broadcast. Trauma teaches you to whisper, and healing teaches you to sing. And when you raise your vibration, your reality has to rise with it because it has to match you. Here's a personal share that's really interesting. Here, there's no name on this one, okay? This person didn't want to give their name or where they are. When I had cancer, my body vibrated at fear for months. I can relate to that. But the moment I started listening to 528 hertz and breath work, I felt my system reattune. You can feel it. You can feel it. It's incredible. I highly recommend 528, 432 hertz frequencies. They're amazing. Okay, so here for this segment three, tip number three, to begin shifting trauma frequency. What you can do, humming, which activates the vagus nerve, which is like over here. I don't know. It's a big nerve that you can regulate. I'm not a biologist or a doctor, but anyway, Google it or ask ChatGPT. Another thing that you can shift trauma frequency with is a cold water splash. You know, we see that a lot. Like even in movies, they show you that when somebody's upset, just put cold water on your face. Safe touch, even a hand over your heart. I do that a lot. That just completely regulates me. And talk to a licensed trauma-informed therapist who understands nervous system regulation. That is extremely important to ask for help. And there are um, organizations that will do it for you for free. So um, let's go to segment number. Oh, did I put segment number 4? No, I have to add it. Okay, bear with me. You know what? I do all my editing, I do all my everything, and I forgot to skip segment number 4 on the sign. So we're going to go, and here it is, because I'm quick to do stuff. Here it is. Segment number, whoa, no, hello. Okay, segment number 4. Okay, no, why is it? This is segment 3. Okay, this is something it's so weird. I have to like take it out. Oh, I know what happened. Never mind. Bear with me, guys. I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay, so we're gonna do. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry. I doing it in the wrong place. Grace, you have to be more prepared. Well, I am prepared, but this was a fluke. Okay, so where is it? All right, here it is. Finally. All right, so here we're gonna put the topic, and there it is. Whew, thank you for your patience. Segment number 4, sound, music, and your healing body. Okay, you guys, I have how many segments? 7 segments. So this is 7, segment 4. Healing frequencies chart. Okay, so healing frequencies. What are healing frequencies? Each frequency is a key unlocking a specific door in your energy system. Here's what each one does. And we're going to go through them very, not in a detailed way, but kind of, it's a lot. It's a lot. So either take notes or get the guide that I'm going to put up this weekend at thestateofgraceshop.com. For $199, you can get all of this. So there's the frequency 396 hertz, which is the release, fear, and guilt frequency. I am not enough. I am to blame. So this frequency liberates you from the heaviness of fear-based survival emotions, guilt, shame, anxiety. Use this frequency, 396 hertz, when you're stuck in old trauma loops, for self-forgiveness, when self-forgiveness feels impossible, and when you want to clear generational pain. What's the result? A sense of lightness, safety, and emotional grounding. There's other frequencies that are available. I'm going to go, that one is the lowest one. And the highest one is 963 Hz, pineal gland activation. I see, I remember who I am. This is known as the God frequency, or the tone of oneness. 963 hertz activates the pineal gland, which is a place in your brain that if you look at in the Egyptian culture, they had literally that third eye. It's the pineal gland, and it opens the crown chakra. That's, from Buddhism, that chakra. So we're mixing everything because basically all spiritual beliefs, they say the same thing. It's just different languages and different cultures. So use this God frequency when you want to deepen your connection to source. Some people call it God, the universe, whatever you call it. use it when you're accessing higher realms in meditation, yes, and use it when you're working with visions, dreams, or downloads. I use this one a lot, and my third eye is open, and that's not a joke. That's the pineal gland. The pineal gland is made has crystals, and crystals, as we know, they attract. Like I have a crystal right here that it's called the pendulum, right? And let me show you. This crystal, you can ask questions and it will answer. Yes is to the right, no is to the left. So if I ask this crystal, is my name Grace Fraga? Thank you. Is my name J-Lo? No. So I don't know if this is connected to my pineal gland, but the crystal, you can actually put crystals here. They help open that. So those crystals are like a Wi-Fi. That's why a lot of people use crystals, because they're Wi-Fi. But you have it on your third eye, and your pineal gland this is scientific. This is not BS. So you have so much power. It's a Wi-Fi. You can have visions. You can go to other dimensions and realms. This is not a joke. Now, don't do it without supervision. I'm not kidding. Like, you have to kind of work towards it. And what is the result of this frequency? The 963 hertz, which is the pineal gland activation, is expanded consciousness, lucid awareness, and unity with all. Okay, so there's a lot of frequencies in between. And like I was saying, get my guide this weekend. I'll post it, $199 on PDF. You can read it. You can have it with you. And it's at thestateofgraceshop.com. Okay, so you're like, well, how do I use these frequencies, Grace? What the hell? This is all, it sounds good, but how do I use it? Give me practical stuff. So listen to music or binaural beats. Tuned to these hertz with headphones for deeper effect. Yeah, I don't, but you can do it with headphones. Sing or hum the tone. Sound is even more powerful when generated by your body. Infuse water with the sound and drink it as a healing ritual. Remember that the water, which we're 70% water, is affected by frequency and sound and vibrations. Meditate or do energy work while playing the tone in the background. Final truth, honey. Your body is an instrument. These frequencies don't just heal, they retune your soul. When you shift your sound, you shift your state of being. And when you shift your state, you change your life. That's why I have a podcast called The State of Grace, and that is your ideal state of being. All right. It's all connected in my channel, baby. It's all connected. Anyway, fan story. After 3 weeks of sleeping to 432 hertz music, my insomnia went away. My dreams are vivid and weird in a good way. That's Talia in Austin. By the way, please feel free to post comments let me see, if you have comments on YouTube. I can see the comments. I'm not sure about Instagram. I see a lot of people tuned in on Instagram. Wow. Okay. But feel free. Okay. It's all, I want to interact with you. I love doing that. All right. Oh, you guys, this is a lot. Okay. So tip number 4 for segment number 4. I would do this. If I were you, I would create a Spotify playlist by frequency, right? Test what makes your body feel alive, grounded, or peaceful, or joyful. Use it while you cook, drive, or even sleep. You can do that. I do it when I sleep, and it's good. All right, segment number 5. Yes, sir. Relationships and frequency matching. Oh, yeah. Why do some relationships work, or why do some relationships change? Maybe the frequencies match in the beginning, and then they don't match anymore. That I know happened in my second marriage. My first, they were never aligned. Anyway, so this segment is called Relationships and Frequency Matching. Your frequency affects who and what you attract. Okay, so let's start with the foundation. Remember, we talked about this. You're not just a body, you're a broadcast tower, constantly sending out signals through your thoughts, emotions, intentions, and nervous system. That broadcast has a frequency that is literally measurable in hertz. And guess what? Other people around you, oh, they feel it, honey. You know, when some people you're like, ew, they gave me the and some people are like, oh, I love this person. It's like being in like heaven when I'm around this person. So when you're vibrating in self-worth, you're not even on the same station as someone still tuned into chaos, control, and codependency. So you can't, even if you have physical chemistry, you just, it's like they're here and you're here. You just don't match. You're not aligning. So you have to be both aligned. Ever leave a date? Oh my God. Okay. Like you feel drained. That's not chemistry. That's misalignment. You didn't click because your energy systems were repelling, not resonating. Here's why. Okay. What's true chemistry? True chemistry is when your nervous systems feel regulated, safe, and expanded around each other. If you leave a date feeling anxious, drained, or confused, oh, honey, that's not butterflies. It's your body warning you. Yeah. You know, when like, oh, I have butterflies in my stomach, I'm in love. No, that's bullshit. See how we were programmed all wrong? We were programmed to just be in chaos, live in chaos and thinking we're shit. That's one of my things that I want to do in this world before I leave it. Just just let you know you're powerful, you're magical. We're programmed to not be successful as a being. Yes, you can be successful at the doing part, but how about at the being? That's what I care about. And I want you to be a happy, joyful, peaceful, loving being. You're a human being, not a human doing. We've been sold on the idea that our worth is linked to what we do. That's bullshit. That's nothing to do with anything. What you do is just what you do. And who you are, that's where it's at, baby. All right. So, neurologically, what is this about? You're subconsciously picking up on dysregulated energy. And you know what happens? It exhausts your system. That's why people sometimes you're like, oh my God, I was around that person and I feel so drained because they're dysregulated, especially when people like trauma dump on you. Hello? Okay. Spiritually, what does this mean? Their frequency may be rooted in scarcity, shame, or chaos, and yours isn't anymore. That's why sometimes people just break up for other reasons too. But the frequencies are not matching anymore. Some people grow, other people don't grow. They stay at the same frequency. All right. You guys, okay, so we're talking, this segment is about relationships and energy and frequency, okay? So I'm going to talk about energy resonance 101, the rules of the vibe. Okay, so rule number 1, honey, like attracts like. You heard this before, right? And why is this? Your dominant frequency attracts matching experiences, people, and opportunities. Not what you want, but what you are being, right? And remember, your thoughts and emotions have to be aligned. If you think joy, you have to feel the joy. High self-worth attracts respect. Deep insecurity masked as confidence attracts narcissists. Peace attracts more peace. Chaos attracts more chaos. We know that. So your outer world is your inner world's echo. I'm going to repeat that. Your outer world is your inner world's echo. All right. So let's go to the third part that I wanted to talk about, as regards to the energy resonance, the rules of the vibe. Okay. We entrain to the people around us. Entrainment is the phenomenon where two rhythms sync up when in close proximity. It happens with heartbeats, yes, brain waves, and breathing patterns. When you're around someone long enough, you begin to unconsciously match their emotional baseline. Yes, you do, unfortunately. So if you're around someone vibrating in stress, shame, or fear, your system may start mirroring that, even if it's not your natural frequency. It happened to me with my narcissistic, abusive ex. I started vibrating so low. And when I got away and moved into my apartment by myself, my energy changed completely because I wasn't around that anymore. Yeah. But when you're around people vibrating in love, creativity, or joy, honey, you get pulled into that. Ideal. Beautiful. Now, if you're healing, some relationships will feel off. We've all been through this. Have you? Let me know in the comments if you've been through this. Okay. So, this is the spiritual side effects of growth that have nobody tells you about. Okay. So, as your frequency rises, the old vibration no longer feels like home. Friends, lovers, even family might start to feel off, not because they're bad people, but because your systems are no longer vibrating in the same frequency band. It's not betrayal. Don't feel bad about it. It's just energetic evolution. You're shifting from survival to expansion, from trauma bonds to soul bonds. All right. So, bottom line of all of this, my loves, your frequency is a filter. You don't just attract people, you attract experiences that resonate with your energetic state. You want to attract differently, you have to vibrate differently. That means healing, regulating, aligning, and choosing peace even when chaos is familiar. All right, let's do a practical vibe check. So before a date, a call, or even a business deal, ask yourself, do I feel expanded or contracted in their presence? Is my energy rising or dropping after? Does my nervous system feel safe or scrambled, chaotic? If it's not a resounding yes in your body, it's a vibrational no. So here's a story from a fan. After chemo, my boundaries sharpened. That happens a lot. I couldn't be around gossip, low energy, or people stuck in victim loops. It wasn't judgment, it was just frequency mismatch. I feel the same way. I could have written that. Okay. Tip number 5, which is for segment 5. Ask, what frequency am I sending out? So if you want a relationship with safety and clarity, are you really vibrating at those vibrational fields, hertz? Raise the frequency first and then connect. All right, let's go to segment number 6, Grace Nation. 7 segments. We're almost there. This is really good info. If you want to get the guide for $199, it's going to be available this weekend at the State of Grace shop. Not job. It's a State of Grace job. It is a job. The stateofgraceshop.com. So get your guide, $199, it's PDF, and you can have all of this information and more. Okay. You guys, this is a lot. Okay. So segment number 6 is how to raise your frequency on purpose. I'm going to give you 10 real life frequency shifters. Okay. First of all, declutter and clutter. Okay. Declutter the clutter. Energetic noise. The clutter, what is it? Energetic noise. So declutter. Physical mess is a mental static. Every object in your space holds energy. How important is that? And clutter can weigh down your nervous system by constantly signaling unfinished business. Yeah, I've gotten rid of stuff that reminded me of people that were negative in my life. Totally. And also in your socials. If somebody is not good for you, block them, delete them. No shame. I delete clients and block clients sometimes because they're fake, or they're like just not nice. So just get them out of your field. Or even people I've worked with, like on podcasts and stuff, that just go away. Anyway, that's just my personal experience. So frequency shift. How can you do that? Clearing the physical space and clearing the emotional weight. It makes room for clarity, flow, and higher vibes to enter. Your environment is like a vision board. Edit accordingly. Number 2, how to declutter. Water. Speak to it, bless it. Water is programmable energy. Remember Dr. Emoto's research? Okay, it suggested that words, music, and emotion change water's molecular structure. You are 70% water, honey. So blessing your water before drinking it is a ritual of resonance. Frequency shift. Whisper affirmations to your water, like, thank you for healing me, or thank you for infusing me with your light. Your cells are listening. All right. Another um, real life frequency shifter is breath work, especially alternate nostril or deep belly. So the breath is the remote control of the nervous system. Like this, I was telling you this weekend, I had an anxiety attack and the breathing calmed me down. So 4 in, 4 hold, and 4 out. Breath is the remote control of your nervous system. Conscious breathing moves you out of stress, the sympathetic nervous system, into rest, the parasympathetic nervous system. It shifts brainwave states and clears emotional blocks. So, this is how you can do it. Alternate nostril breathing. Do deep belly breathing, which give you safety and grounding. Okay. The alternate nostril breathing, by the way, it gives you an energy balance, right? Because right and left, that's a whole different episode about what the right and left mean of your body. When you shift the breath, you shift the broadcast. That's as simple as that. Okay, another thing that you can use to shift your frequency is laughter. Watch stand up or call a funny friend. Laughter, what does it do? It raises your vibration like that. It releases endorphins, oxygenates the body, and disrupts low vibe loops like fear and shame. It really does. That's why I love doing shows, because it raises my vibration and it raises the people's vibration if they're laughing and you have good jokes, right? So the laughter really is like instant. Okay. So you're feeling like low vibe and just like shit. Go and watch a stand up comedy special of your favorite comedian. Watch a comedy that's funny, because there's a lot of comedies that are not funny. All right. But anyway, moving on. Humor is holy. Giggles, a gut tear. All right. Now, another thing you can do to raise your vibration is movement. How important is that? Dance, yoga, stretch, shake. Trauma gets stuck in the body. We talked about that, right? It gets stuck like that humming fork, right? That's still vibrating. Maybe you can't hear it, but it's still there. Movement. What does it do? It releases trapped energy, especially when it's intuitive, not performative. Frequency shift. Shake like an animal after stress, literally. Dance. Oh, baby, dancing is the best. You dance like your aura depends on it, okay? Because it literally does. And stretch to clear stored emotion. Every day when I wake up, I'm like, ooh, stretching. Because, you have sometimes dreams, nightmares. And so you just like, you stretch. You feel so good. Before you go to bed, stretch. During the day, stretch. Your body is an instrument. Move it to retune it. Boom. Mic drop. Okay. Number 6, what you can do to raise your vibe. Affirmations, words like I am safe. Hold weight. This weekend, like I told you guys, I had an anxiety attack. And what did I tell myself? Besides, I breathed, I did everything I am telling you to do right now to help you. I kept saying, I am safe. I am safe, because it was about my fear of a situation, right? That triggered my anxiety attack. So words, remember, they're not just sounds, they're spells. Your subconscious hears every I am as an instruction. Do you hear that? During my cancer healing journey, I kept saying, I am love, I am joy, I am peace, I am perfectly healed. I am healing. I am ease, not disease. I didn't say the not disease, but I said I am ease, I am order, because cancer is a disorder, right? I am balance, because cancer is an imbalance. So it works. It kept me, I don't know if it helped me heal the cancer. I have no idea. I did the standard treatment, so that definitely had a lot to do with it. But it did help me mentally and emotionally to get through the treatment, which is rough. All right. So another frequency shift you can do is say or write affirmations like I am aligned with my highest self. I am worthy of joy, rest, and miracles. A bonus, record your voice and play it back while you sleep. Perfect. What you say becomes your signal. Remember? Your signal will attract what's in the quantum field. All right, another strategy. All right, we're almost there, guys. This is a lot, and I wanted to get all the information out for you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube, The State of Grace, Fraga, where you get notifications about all the podcasts that I do. The whole vibe of my channel is what the banner says, your journey to joyful living. All right. Silence, very important. I have a story. Look it up. Story time with Grace, the importance of quiet. Tune out to tune in. Noise, what is it? It's constant stimulation, right? We're here. I'm listening to like the trucks and the sirens and people talking. So when you unplug, okay, silence is a portal actually, because when you unplug from the external, you can hear your own energetic rhythm, right? Frequency shift. How do you do it? Sit in silence, no music, no talking, no scrolling, just breath and presence. Oh my God, it's the most grounding thing. For me, it works out so well. I love silence. Now, stillness isn't empty like most people think. It's like, oh, I got to do something. It's boring. It's actually full of downloads. When you're still, you will actually get what I call MOBs, moments of brightness, and you will be blown away by the stuff that comes to your brain when you shut it up. We shut up the scrolling and the noises. Just silence will connect you with you. Another thing that you can do, the earth, okay? Grounding, it's called grounding, and what it is, you go barefoot on the earth, or you go on the beach. You can do that too. And if you do that or hug a tree, that's grounding at a different level, and it lowers cortisol, literally lowers cortisol. Walking barefoot on grass, dirt, or sand, what does it do? Connects your body to Earth's frequency. Remember the Schumann resonance? This has been shown to reduce inflammation, improve sleep, and restore balance. I want you guys to go to YouTube, and there's a movie, I can't remember the name, but it's about grounding. You might just put grounding movie and you'll see it's fascinating. All right. How is the frequency shift with this? You hug a tree, dig in the garden. That's why gardening is so therapeutic. Sit under the moon. As simple as that. Let the earth recalibrate you. Okay. Nature doesn't hustle, honey, and it still grows everything that we need, right? Number 9, how to shift your frequency. Boundaries. Oh, baby, no is holy. Every no is a vibrational yes to your alignment. When you honor your limits, what are you doing? You're protecting your energy from being drained or distorted. Frequency shift. What you can do with this is say no without over explaining. I used to over explain. I'd be like, because of this and that. Now it's like, no, babe, no. That's not aligned for me right now be enough. No. No is a full sentence. Boundaries aren't walls, honey. They're tuning forks. Remember that. And number 10, last one, how you can raise your vibe is joy. And again, that's what the channel is all about. The State of Grace Fraga is your journey to joyful living, right? Joy is not a luxury, but it's vibrational medicine. Remember that. Joy raises your frequency faster than effort, discipline, or logic. It's not frivolous. It's totally essential. How can you do that? Do something just because it's fun, because it makes you happy. Sing, paint, skip, run, look at the sky, scream into a pillow, and then laugh. Joy is telling the universe, I'm open to more of this. Final truth, frequency isn't just some mystical, unreachable state. It's in your next breath, your next choice, your next yes to alignment. Healing doesn't have to be heavy. Sometimes it's a playlist, a glass of blessed water, and a no thanks, not my vibe. You don't raise your frequency by force, honey. You do it by resonance. All right, let's go to fan tip number 6. This is a fan, Evan from Boulder. He says, every morning I walk barefoot in my backyard and speak gratitude out loud. It completely shifts my mood. Let's all be Evans. Sorry, guys. I've been talking so much. All right. Are you guys okay? How are you feeling? How are you doing? I want to hear from you. Okay. And actually, I want to show you Let me see. Yes, I want to show you. Um, all right. So, what better than merch that says "Joy is my jam," right? Get it at thestateofgrace.com. It's really fun. You have a reminder when you drink your water, when you have a hat with that, you're like, oh, joy is my jam. Or a t shirt. Just tell everybody, joy is my jam. Anyway, all right, let's keep going, my loves. Woo! Segment number 7. All right, this is the last segment. Yeah. Okay. When the world feels low vibe. Okay. This is very relevant today because the world is in a state of disaster, to be honest. Um, so this is there's some kind of collective grief, oppression. There's wars. All of these, collective grief, oppression, and war, drop our frequency. This isn't a metaphor, honey. This is physics and energetics. When the collective is grieving, afraid, or divided, that low frequency becomes part of the planetary atmosphere, like smog in the vibrational field. We entrain to those around us. We remember we're all one, we're all connected. When war, hate, or fear dominates the airwaves, it seeps into our cells, our nervous systems, our dreams. Your own trauma gets reactivated. Old wounds echo louder, and hope can dim. But the truth is, this is not your fault, and you are not broken. You're not powerless. You're a ripple in the vibrational field. Just like darkness can spread, so can light. That's the good news. You're an energetic broadcaster, not just a receiver. So when you choose peace in the midst of chaos, when you ground, when you love, when you pray, when you create, when you rest, you send out ripples that impact those around you, whether they know it or not. Your alignment becomes a lighthouse for others navigating stormy frequencies. And that's my goal. And that's why this weekend, when I had my anxiety attack, because the situation in this country triggered something of my own trauma that I lived in a situation similar in the country I'm from. So that totally just messed me up, right? But we can change that frequency. Doesn't mean we are going to be ignoring what's happening. We're not going to be empathetic to what's happening. We can be all of that, but we can also avoid the low vibe to influences us to the point where our nervous system becomes dysregulated. My daily spiritual hygiene, okay? Just like brushing your teeth, energetic hygiene is non-negotiable, honey, in a world vibrating with noise. Here's a breakdown and expansion of each practice. Okay, so let's go into this. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Okay, grounding meditation. What happens? It roots into earth. So every day, visualize energy moving down from your body into the earth like roots. This connects you to stability. It reduces anxiety and it realigns you with the earth's natural frequency, the Schumann resonance. Google that. And actually, I can do a whole quantum AF. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that for the Schumann resonance. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello. Hi. Betrayed by sins. Person, turquoise, vaping person. Oh. You know what that is? It's not reading the streaming service. Is not reading the emojis. That's hilarious. Have a wonderful weekend, goddess. You too, my love. I uh, I wish you nothing but the best always. I love you. Thank you for being so supportive and for being aligned with this channel and for appreciating everything that we put out here. Not everything, but a lot of it with your beautiful comments. All right, let's go back, you guys. So why it works. Okay, so why does grounding meditation works? Grounding calms the nervous system. It lowers your cortisol. It's the stress hormone. And it creates energetic protection from external chaos. The world may spin, baby, but I stay rooted. All right, another thing to do. All right. That's my daily spiritual hygiene. No doom scrolling. Okay. So let me actually, I forgot to put the caption. Where is it? Okay. Show. There it is. Good. All right. So another thing I do is no doom scrolling before 10 a.m. Your brain is in a highly programmable alpha theta state in the morning. Good. Take the opportunity to do what's best for you so your day starts in a positive note. If the first thing you feed it is violence, outrage, or fear, that will become the emotional state and the emotional tone of your whole day. So, why it works? Delaying input allows you to consciously set your frequency rather than absorb the world's. So, you don't owe your nervous system to the news, okay? Sometimes I'm tempted. I wake up in the morning, and I'm sure you guys do the same, with, especially with what's going on in the whole world. I want to know what's happening, what's going on. I put my hertz frequencies 528, 432, 963. Those are healing and they will calm your nervous system. So you start your day on a positive, calming, peaceful, joyful note. All right. Another thing that it's my personal spiritual hygiene is the mantras. Peace lives in me. Words, remember, you can go back if you just got in, go back. Words are vibrational anchors. Saying a mantra like peace lives in me literally recalibrates your emotional baseline. Your cells listen. They have intelligence. Your field, your electromagnetic field that we all have, aka the aura, it adjusts. Why does it work? Because mantras regulate the breath. They calm the vagus nerve. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but the vagus nerve is the one that if it's dysregulated, you get anxiety and all that. So it regulates the breath, calm the vagus nerve, and keep your consciousness focused in the present moment, the now. Sometimes I fall for this. I'm either into the past crying, oh, why, or into the future, like, oh my God, what is going to happen? Like imagining the worst case scenario. Stop, 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 stop. The now. Ground yourself. Listen to these frequencies. They are life-saving. Just, I can't even recommend them enough. Okay, another thing that I do that I love doing that grounds me and it's my morning hygiene is spend time in nature walks. Okay, nature walks. Just go. Nature attunes you to the healing nonlinear frequency of the natural world. All right. Spending time in nature will connect you to nature, right? Trees don't rush, honey. Oceans don't people please. Flowers don't change likes. Why does it work? Because sunlight boosts serotonin. Natural scenery resets overstimulated brain circuits. Touching earth recharges your energetic field because remember, the earth has energy, aka Schumann resonance. We're going to do, you know what? I'm going to do a full episode on Schumann resonance. I think that's going to be my next episode. Remember, nature is not a luxury, it's your original home frequency. All right. So, another thing that I do as my morning personal spiritual hygiene is curated media. I filter what enters my field. So, what you watch, read, scroll, or listen to in the morning or anywhere, anytime during the day, enters your energetic field. Remember, your energetic field is your electromagnetic field. When you're low vibing, it's smaller. When you're high vibing, it's bigger. So when it's bigger, it's vibing with the higher frequencies and it's also protecting you from disease. Okay, think about that. Why it works? Your subconscious doesn't filter, right? It absorbs. So why would you eat moldy food and why would you ingest chaotic content? It's the same thing as if you eat food with mold. Why would you do that? Choosing media with care is an act of spiritual discernment. So please, please protect your vibration like it's your home because it is. All right. Final transmission. The world is loud. Oh my God, is it? But your inner field is sovereign. You can mourn the world and still hold peace inside. You're not numb for needing joy. You are not selfish for choosing silence. You are the medicine. You are the ripple. You are the frequency shifter. Tip number 7 for segment 7: before you react, ask, what frequency am I feeding right now? Choose consciously. All right, my loves, closing thoughts. And I always do this. You're not broken. You're just out of tune. Frequency isn't a trend, it's the blueprint of the universe. You're in a living, breathing symphony. You just forgot that you are the conductor. So, honey, raise your frequency and your world will start to reflect it back, not because it's magic, but because it's physics. Download your frequency field guide and other free and paid guides and books at thestateofgraceshop.com. The links are going to be in the pinned comments. And the frequency, this guide from this episode, is going to be available for $199. Same thing at the State of Grace shop, and I'm going to upload it this weekend. Share this episode, tag me at the State of Grace, and use hashtag Quantum AF podcast. Subscribe, rate, and leave a review if this lit something up inside you, honey. Until next time, stay radiant, stay weird, and keep tuning in. You're not just vibing, you're Quantum AF. Bye, my loves.